Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Todd Clouser on the Mexico Experiment.
I discovered on Rope-A-Dope the Mexico City record that you've been working on, I guess you have coming out. And why don't we talk a little bit about that, and then we can go back, because once I discovered that, went to Bandcamp, listened, and then went to YouTube, there's a whole, other rabbit hole to go down on YouTube with lots of stuff you did. So you recorded this album in May of last year?
Correct. May of last year in kind of North Mexico City, this place called the Studios Noviembre. I've lived there in Mexico City for, I guess, almost 12 years now. I'm excited to be, part of the Rope-A-Dope Experiment series of records is a real thrill.
And there was one before called Chicago Experiment?
Yep. I think the original one is the Philadelphia Experiment, which was, I guess, 20 some years ago now. It was like Questlove and Christian McBride and all these, real heroes. And then Rope-A-Dope just, I think over the past few years, decided to bring it back, and they've done a Chicago Experiment. There was a Harlem Experiment somewhere there in the middle. Now Mexico City Experiment.
Nice. So there's two songs on Bandcamp, Talking Mexico City, and I might butcher this, Cebuche.
Debuche, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And very different styles. The Talking Mexico City is more, I guess, a blues, harder thing, and the other one is, for lack of a better term, I guess, more traditional sounding in what it is. How did you approach trying to combine all of your styles into what was done there?
Yeah, I guess that's always been a little bit of a challenge for me. I guess the nice thing about it being this experiment series is we have a lot of freedom. I don't think we're really, there's no exact lane that we have to go down. It's like we can grab these 5 different personalities, really different musicians, all living in Mexico City, one from Venezuela, a couple Mexican guys, Eric Deutsch, also from the US, and try to kind of honor everybody's personality. I would say of the 2 songs that are out, I think on the record, Talkin' Mexico City is kind of the outlier. It's kind of this sort of ranty blues spoken word piece that is the last track on the record, and the rest is kind of in this, kind of groove vein, with some Mexico in there.
How has Mexico influenced and informed your musical perspective since moving there 12 years ago?
Yeah, it's been incredible to me, and I feel really indebted to Mexico and a lot of musicians and the scene there, everything that I've been allowed to do and the way that I've been received there. So when I first got to Mexico City, I really had no idea that there was this creative music scene there. There's an incredible free jazz scene. There's a Mexican jazz tradition. There's all across the board. And over time, I've been able to kind of hang in a lot of these scenes, play in a lot of different bands, and kind of explore these different styles, and also travel all around Mexico and work with young traditional musicians in the mountains of Oaxaca, or work with Los Carrancheros de Sapiris, this a cappella kind of blues-like song tradition in Durango.
They're the Ranchers?
Yeah, they're the Ranchers.
Okay.
Crazy.
I was going to ask you about them.
Yeah, man, so cool. Yeah, or like Son Jarocho and Veracruz. There's all these Mexican music traditions and styles that I just wasn't hip to at all, and I'm still discovering those things. So it's been an incredible experience for me.
The Ranchers, the vocal group, were on the SUR, Sur?
Yep, Rope-A-Dope Sur, which is south in Spanish, yeah.
Okay, and that's another imprint of Rope-A-Dope's?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, right, and you run that, I guess.
Yeah, I do. It's not a huge operation,
Right.
but yeah, I do run it. I mean, the idea was just to, I'd worked with Rope-A-Dope for years before I moved to Mexico, and then when I got down there, to just try to get some of what was happening that I was discovering for myself in Mexico, up to the U.S. and see if we could get it out to more peeps.
The songs on the Mexico album, is that all originals? Do you do any covers?
It's all originals. Yeah, the concept was maybe to do a couple covers of some Mexican bands like Café Tacuba or these kind of bigger bands, but it ended up being all originals is what made sense. I wrote the majority of them. Geronimo Gonzalez, who's the bassist and plays Herrana and co-producer on the record, wrote a few tunes as well.
Now, how do you approach composing music for a project like this?
Yeah, well, this has to be a little more open, kind of maps or guides, some basic song forms and melodies. Like I wanted it to, have tunes in there. I didn't want to get together and just go free edit in the studio, which is also fun. But so yeah, I wrote some tunes kind of with the guys in mind, that would allow us to open up and allow space for everybody to really be themselves.
Right now, did you guys rehearse before you went in the studio? Did you have everything nailed down, or was it let's go in the studio and see how it hangs?
Yeah, I just went in the studio with the charts and kind of adjusted as necessary in the studio. Yeah, everything kind of took on its own life, which is awesome when it happens, because everybody, like I said, everybody gets a chance to be themselves and I think that's the spirit of the experiment record too. It's like I didn't want to go in and just like play tunes of mine with a band that already existed. It's like let's
Right.
really experiment.
I read something. Miles Davis was talking about one of the albums with Herbie Hancock. He said, "You hire the best people, you give them the music, and you let them go."
Man, that's nothing more to say.
Simple as that.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.